What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Destiny, and today I'm telling you guys the story of when I dated a married man. Now, this story I wanted to hold in the vault and just keep it to myself, but I know you guys would enjoy this story. It's just a little embarrassing. Like, why? How did I not see the signs? I mean, I've seen it happen to other people. I've heard stories, but I did not think this would happen to me. I did not think this would be my life. And this story right here is definitely the root of all my trust issues. This story right here is where my trust issues started. So sit back, relax, get a snack, because this story is a lot to take in. Let's get into it. So this happened when I was 18, turning 19. I had just got a new job, and I'm not going to say where, okay, because there's people who know this. I had just started at a brand new job, and I was in a relationship. This relationship that I was in was long distance, so he would be away for majority of the year, and our relationship was just based on FaceTime. It was also toxic. Me and this guy would block each other and unblock each other every day and fight every single day, and I did not trust him. That was our relationship. And when we would be on FaceTime, sometimes I would hear his friends in the background saying things about other girls and girls who were coming by, so I just knew he was doing things. I don't know why I stuck around, but I did. It wasn't really a real relationship, you know, like when you guys live near each other and you get into a fight, you know, you could pull up and you can make things right. But if we got into a fight and we blocked each other, that was it. There was no speaking. He could have been doing God knows what throughout that time. So I was in a relationship, but I was getting tired of it and it was so toxic. So I started to open up my vision again. My vision was not that blurry anymore, because I'm the type of girl, when I'm in a relationship, I don't see anybody else but you. You are all I see. You are all I know. I don't hear no other guy. I don't see no other guy but you. So when it gets to the point where I'm not really holding it down no more, it's over. So this job helped me to get my mind off of my situation, okay? It was my first full-time job, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. I was very, very, very excited. I'm just gonna give you guys a layout of like how my job was. So I would be in the front desk, like front reception, and the guy, oh, we have to give him a name, duh. We're gonna name the married guy. Ooh, this is where it's tea. Okay, I'm gonna name him Tom. Okay, Tom. So Tom worked in the back, in the warehouse type situation. I was in the front, he was in the warehouse. We didn't really need to see each other because our shifts were also different, and he's all the way in the back, I'm all the way in the front. But it was like a thing in that place where the boys in the back were always coming to the front to flirt with the girls in the front and get the little eye candy. So one day while I was training in the front, he had walked through with two other guys. So one was the manager of the back and another guy was his co-worker. And he looked at me and I looked at him and I was like, okay, he's kind of cute, he's kind of cute. But I wasn't paying him no mind like that. The girls had already warned me about him and they were just like, trouble, trouble, trouble. But would Destiny be Destiny if she didn't dabble into some trouble here and there? So I, you know, was kind of feeling him. I thought he was cute. He had started to come to the front a lot more, and the girls ended up telling me like, yeah, it's definitely because of you, like we can already tell. So as time started to go by, he started to get a little bit more comfortable. So he would come over and talk to somebody who was like, let's say training me or who I was near, and then he would say hi to me. He would come by, unplug my computer, you know, do little things that boys do when they're into somebody but they don't know how to say it. So he would flirt and do stupid shit like that. As time went by, I started to get curious and I'm like, I wonder what this guy is all about. But I never ever approached him. So when I used to leave work, I would take the bus to go home. Sometimes I would take a cab, but I more so like to take a cab in the morning because I was always late. So I would kind of pick like, okay, either you take the bus to work or you take a cab to work and then bus home. So I normally would do cab in the morning, bus home. For me to get to the bus stop, I would have to leave from my work and then walk down this long hill and then go to the bus stop and stand there and wait. So as I was walking down the hill one day to go to the bus stop, guess who pulls up on me? Tom. He kind of pulled over, put down his window, and he was like, hi. I'm like, hi. He's like, where are you going? And I told him what area, and he's like, do you want to ride? And I was like, no, I don't want to ride, I'm good. Because, you know, as much as I wanted the ride, and yeah, I wanted to talk to him, I was trying to play it cool. So I'm like, no, I don't need a ride, I'm good. He's like, come on, you're right up the street, like, let me drop you, it's nothing, it's cool. I was like, okay, sure. So didn't take much convincing. I got in the car, and red flag number one. He had his phone up. Like, you see how Uber drivers have their phone? He had his phone up like that, hooked in there. So I sit down in the car and the phone gets like a ding, and it's WhatsApp, and the WhatsApp name says wife. I was like, this boy is such a player, like, come on. But I wasn't paying it because, you know, I already had my situation. So I was like, whatever. A ride home, that doesn't hurt anybody. As we're driving, he's telling me that I'm beautiful, and he's asking me like what my situation is. So I told him like, yeah, I have a boyfriend. He's like, okay, tell me about that. And I'm like, yeah, it's long distance. Like, he's away for school right now, but we're trying to make it work. You know, it's not that easy, but that's my situation. And he was like, oh, I hope you know he's not being loyal to you. And I was like, no, I trust him. Like, I'm cool. He was like, no, I'm gonna make you leave your boyfriend. And I was like, okay, I'm not leaving anybody for you, okay? Little did I know. He was like, yeah, that's not gonna work. You deserve a real man. He asked for my number, and I said no. He asked for my Snapchat, and I was comfortable with giving him my Snapchat because whatever. And he was like, tomorrow I'm taking you out on a date, and we're gonna go to the movies, so be ready for 7 o'clock. I'm taking you out. And I was like, whoa. Now this is what I liked about him. He was an alpha male. He was not the kind of guy that would be like, do you want to chill? Okay, what do you want to do? Okay. He was the kind of guy that he would tell you the plans, and he would just be like, listen, baby girl, just get ready, look cute, I'm gonna pick you up, this is what we're doing. I never had a guy like that before, so that was something that had me fluttered. I was like, oh shit, you know, I liked that, but still in a relationship. So I was like, I can't, I'm sorry, no. And he was like, what, it won't hurt, it's just one date, like, come on. And I was like, fine. Again, didn't take much convincing. So fast forward now to the date. He pulls up to my house, and he gets out of the car, opens the door for me, which I've never had that before, and tells me like, I've always wanted to see this movie. We actually went to go and see Black Panther. Thinking about it now is so sad because of Chadwick. Rest in peace. So we get in the car, he takes me there, he opens my door, he's like, listen, when you're around me, you're not opening any doors, don't touch no doors, Destiny, I'm serious. I was like, Jesus, where did this man come from? Like, all the things I've never had in anyone was right in front of me. And we get in, he pays for everything, which again I've also never had because I always date guys who are broke. I've never dated a guy with money. This was before him. Since him, I've dated a guy with money, but I was 18. I have only dated guys my age and guys who, you know, have no job. They just depend on me. So I was like swooped up. He had everything set, everything planned. All I had to do was just look cute, and I love a guy who could take control like that. We get into the movie now, and he starts to touch my foot. He was like, I'm sure you had a long day, like, let me rub your feet. I was like, oh god, like, I can't do this. Like, I was getting so, like, the emotions were just rolling and rolling and rolling, and I was like, oh my god, I like this moment, I like how I feel right now. And I let him rub my feet, and I loved every moment of it. We were talking throughout the movie. He was so nice to me, and I just had a really great time. He ends up telling me that he is married, but he is in the final stages of a divorce. He said this woman has been the most toxic, and he said I would sit there and cry and cry and cry over how badly I was treated, and she could call and I would still pick up. That is how much I was in love and how much I let her treat me like I was nothing. And hearing that was like, it was everything to me, because I was like, oh my god, he knows the feeling. Like, I had dealt with this so much in the past, and he's older than me, so he must be more mature. He must know the feeling. And he was like, we're in our final stage. I literally have to just sign on the dotted line and we're divorced. I know there are married people who are separated, so I was like, okay, you know what, Destiny, don't punish him. You don't know for sure the situation, so just believe his word for now and see where it goes. So that's exactly what I did. So that night I texted my boyfriend and I told him, I can't do this anymore. It's not for me. We fight every day. We block each other every day. You know, I don't know what you're doing out there. You're so far away, and I can't do it anymore. I want a real relationship, and I can't do it. And I remember him asking me, like, Destiny, is there someone else? Is there someone else? Just let me know. Like, is there someone else? And I'm like, no, I can't do it. Our relationship was awful. I mean, you're miles and miles away. We're fighting every day, blocking each other every day. It's just not a healthy situation in general. And now having this new boy come in and just shake my world up and be basically like my Prince Charming, I was just done. So I broke up with him, I blocked him, and I left that to be where it was. I totally ended it because I could feel myself falling for this guy. And I was like, I don't want to be tied to this guy anymore. And here's this guy now. He's everything. He's a man. He has a job. He has his life together. He has his own place. He's taking me on dates. I don't have to worry when I'm with him. He's not looking at me, depending on me for money, and we're not fighting. And so I didn't tell him about the new guy because I didn't want to hurt his feelings. But he was asking me, is there a new guy? Is it someone else? Like, let me know. And I was just like, no, I can't do this anymore. It's just too much. It was too much. But meeting Tom was the final push for me to finally let go. So I did, and I blocked him, and that was that. Now, me and Tom started to pick up and see each other a lot more. Tom would finish work around 1 o'clock, so he would leave work and go buy me lunch and bring it back, and I would always take my lunch break around the time that I knew he was gonna be back with my food. He would pick me up early in the morning and drop me to work, and then make sure I got there on time, and then he would go get me breakfast, bring it to work. Like, the situation was everything to me. It was everything I wanted. I was like, where did this guy come from? He was so perfect. He sent flowers to my home. He was just that guy to come in and give me everything that I've ever wanted, that I've never had before. Plus, I was a little bit younger, so I thought, oh my god, here's my Prince Charming. He was just a man, which I've never had before. We were not allowed to be in a relationship. If our work knew we were in a relationship, it would not end well. People started to speculate, word got around, and they also got back to the back and the guys that he worked with. One of the guys that he worked with, we're gonna name him Jason. Tom and Jason were very close. Tom and Jason worked in the warehouse a lot together. Jason would also come and talk to me and flirt with me. Jason had found out what was going on. Jason would drop subtle hints to me, like, just be careful, okay? Be careful. Jason knew a lot, but he did not tell me right away. Time's going by, me and Tom are good, we're seeing each other, we're keeping it very low-key, and just deny. He had told me that his boss had asked him, you know, what's going on with Destiny, and he said he told him, oh, nothing, you know, she's a friend, whatever, she's cool. So he told me, like, just be careful, people are speculating, people know, and he really wanted me to keep things secretive, and I respected that, and I thought that was solely because of work. Little did I know. Things are picking up, we're seeing each other a lot, we're intimate, I'm going to his home, I'm sleeping over sometimes, I'm going to work from there sometimes. It's like, it's a real relationship. He would show me her messages to him, and he was just leaving it all on red. He was not answering none of it. He had told me that she moved to New York, and because I asked him, why don't you have the divorce papers? I wanted that situation out. I wanted us to just finally be able to be us, because we were getting serious. I wanted her out of the picture. I just wanted that to be finalized and over with, so I can just know, okay, this is what it is now. He would show me their messages. He would show me, and be like, look, it's nothing. I won't even answer her. She's in New York, that's where she lives. My mom doesn't like her, but when she comes here, she's gonna stay with my mom so that I can sign the papers and whatever. She can't afford a hotel or something like that. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. A couple weeks down the line, one night we're at his house chilling like usual, and he looks at me and he starts to tear up. I was like, what's wrong? And he's like, I love you. I didn't say it back because I did not love him. I had strong feelings for him, but I don't fall in love that fast. He said, you are perfect. I have never met a girl like you in my life, and I want you to know that this is serious, this is real, and I see myself marrying you, and I can't wait to get her out of the picture so we can move on. He's like, you know what, tomorrow we're gonna go out for dinner, we're gonna go to that place you've always wanted to go to. And I said, okay. I was so excited. This was like the point where I was like, oh my God. I had so much feelings for him already, and I already felt like we were serious and we were good, but that was my validation. He loves me. He wouldn't just say that. Come on, guys don't just say that. Felt like I was wrapped around that finger, honey. And I was so excited for that date, and this was like any other time. We were going on dates all the time. He would tell me that all the time, get ready, I'm picking you up, and he would always pull through. That day, I remember that day like it was literally yesterday. That day was very weird. From the moment that I woke up that morning, something felt off to me, and it didn't feel like it was gonna be a good day. I went to work, didn't see him in the morning. I figured he would just be really busy in the back or out on the road. We had days like that too. I didn't see him every day that he was there. I just treated it like any other day. Fast forward now to my lunch break. I was leaving to walk down the street to go to a fast food place that was down the hill from my work. And as I was walking, I seen him in his car. And I looked at him, got my butterflies as usual. And I remember blowing him a kiss, and he just looked at me like, he acknowledged it, but it wasn't how Tom would normally, you know, that was just it. And I understood we couldn't do too much, especially at work with people speculating and all that, but he really didn't even acknowledge it like that. As he was driving away, I remember texting him, and I was like, oh, you look so good, or something like that. And I said to him, do you want me to go home after work, or do you want to pick me up and then I'll go home and get ready and then we can go for dinner? And he texted back and he said, go home. I'm going to Brampton, so I'm not sure when I'll be back, so just go home and get ready. And I said, okay. Him saying he was going to be in Brampton, that just went over my head. His mother lives in Brampton, and him going to see his mom was something regular. He did that a lot actually, and he would tell me that. But it was this specific time that I was like, isn't someone supposed to be coming back soon and staying with the mom? So my day is now over, and I'm walking down the street to go and get food again while I wait for my cab to go home. When I'm in there now waiting for my cab, I decide to call him. Us calling each other throughout the day was something very regular. That was something we did all the time, just to check in with each other, you know. So I just wanted to call him and let him know, hey baby, I'm on the way home. I'm gonna go get ready, and I guess I'll let you know when I'm ready for you to come and get me. I called him and he did not pick up. And that was not like him at all, because he never missed a call from me. I just thought it was weird. So I tried again. No answer. And that's when the feeling started to hit me. You know, us girls, our brain, that's when we start to put two and two together. This is starting to make sense now. It hit me. He said a few weeks ago that she was going to be here in a couple weeks and stay with his mom. So I went off. I was writing him like crazy. I said, Tom, I know exactly where you are right now, and I could have been wrong. I could have been 100% wrong, but this was one of those times where I was trusting my intuition over anything else. Pick up the phone now. After me calling him so much, his phone is now off. His phone was off. I was like, oh my God, she's here, and he is ignoring me because she's here. When I got home, I sent him paragraphs. How dare you do this to me? I know you're there with her. You just told me last night that you loved me. I said, I am done. I can't believe you. I'm done. I didn't feel done, but I was just trying to say things to get him to say something to me. Finally, later on that night, he ends up messaging me. And he said, Destiny, my wife is here. She has my last name. And she has my baby. She's pregnant with my baby. So she comes first before anything else. I was like, is it hot in here? Baby? I was like talking to a whole new man. He's talking to me like we have some arrangement, some agreement. Like I don't call him when wifey's home. No, that's not what it was at all. I'm there like, whew, I'm feeling it in my stomach now. The room is spinning. I'm like, baby, I was so stuck on that factor. I was mind blown. I was crying. I was hoping to wake up the next morning and it'd all be a dream. She was not living in New York. She was on a trip there for 2-3 months. He had to make sure he got rid of me before finally bringing her back home. I'm pretty sure what had happened was when she flew back in, he was at work. I guess the mom picked her up at the airport and then brought her to her house, see her, I guess, and then he was probably gonna go there, pick her up, and then they go home together. I don't know. I remember thinking to myself like, oh my god, what am I gonna do to get him to talk to me? You know, when situations like that happen and you're like in shock, you don't want to let go. I did not want to let go, and I was like, okay, should I tell him that I'm pregnant? I know it sounds crazy and it sounds stupid. Girls, do not do this, okay? I don't care if it's in the heat of the moment. I don't care if all these feelings and anger and everything is running through you. Please do not fake pregnancies. Don't do that. If it happens the way it happens and God is removing that person from you, this is the situation. This is what's meant to be. You shouldn't have to fake a pregnancy. You shouldn't have to beg. You shouldn't have to do any of that. If it's not meant to be and God is clearly showing you that, I know it's easier said than done. Let it go. Let it go. So I wrote him and I said, listen, what happened between us is between you and I. Like, I'm not going to start drama. I'm not going to go around. It's between you and I. I'll let it go. I have my word that I'm never going to speak on this again. This is literally what that was a whole paragraph. How much he hurt me. All he wrote back was, thanks, Destiny. You're the best. Thanks, Destiny. Perfect side chick.
This is the original side chick song.
It was nice to bang you while my wife was on a little vacation or whatever. Thanks for keeping your mouth shut. It got around the workplace. Jason finds out and me and Jason start to become close. Friends. Not that way. Jason was like, Destiny, I told you. Jason was telling me about the other girls. He was smashing another girl who worked at the restaurant right down from our work. He had another girl that he was smashing who was in a hospital that was calling him all the time. And I remember being in the car with him one time and a girl called and she's like, hello? And Tom was like, hello? She's like, I'm in the hospital. When are you coming to see me? And he hung up right then and there. And I was like, who is that? And he's like, oh, one of my friends. She's like losing her mind. He was also smashing girls that he would do deliveries to. Jason also told me about that. All of this information comes flooding to me after me and him break up. It was weird. Jason, his coworker, was letting me know everything. Me and Jason now started to become close. Jason was dropping me home. We would hang out, just friends. Everything comes out on the surface now. They always say what's done in dark will always come to light. Everything came out to light. And we're getting pulled into meetings now with managers, and it's one meeting after the next, and they're contemplating now who do they let go and when. After meeting with everybody separately, Tom, myself, Jason, we all got off with like a warning. Fast forward now, somehow Tom finds out that Jason was feeding me information and that Jason had told me everything. And apparently it had got back to Tom's wife about him and I, and about him and the girl down at the restaurant by my work. So Jason and Tom get into a fight in the back of our work. Tom apparently pulls a blade or a knife or something on Jason, and everyone thought they were fighting over me. Everybody was saying they were fighting over me. What they were fighting over was the fact that Jason had fed me information and apparently circled back to Tom's wife. Everyone was finding out everything. It apparently was always coming back to Jason, that Jason was the one giving the information to everybody. So Jason had put me on. Jason told me everything. They get into that fight. Tom pulls whatever on Jason. Tom loses his job. Jason also loses his job. I was scared because I thought I was next. I did not know that they had gotten into a fight. I did not know that he had pulled something on him. I thought they got into an argument over me, got into a fight, and they were let go. So I was counting down the days. I'm like, I am definitely next. They're going to let go of my ass next for sure. Technically, I'm the root of it. They're gonna obviously let me go. But they didn't. I got pulled into a meeting with my manager, two of them, and I had to explain everything from start to finish. And I had to let them know that situation is over. It's been over for almost 2 months now. I wasn't over him. I still wanted to talk to him. I still had feelings, but I let them know, listen, it's nothing. I'm over him. That was wham bam done. I didn't let them know how serious it got. Dabbled in the water, didn't work out, we're cool. They let me keep my job. So Tom texts me one night and he writes, "Do you think there's anything we need to talk about?"
What?
I was asleep. When I woke up and saw the message, it had been 1 hour. I was like, what do you mean? When I responded, I was blocked. So he had sent that, and I guess because he never got a response, he then blocked me. So we never spoke. Then I'm at work. Remember, I know what Tom's wife looks like because I had been shown pictures of Tom at his wedding. The wife comes in to my job